This week on Feel Good Friday, I'm not well. A period that could kill. We get hands-on with health. Gravestone bake-offs and leftovers are deadly. All right.
That's sweet.
Yeah, this is I feel like this is going to be a bit of a longer episode, maybe.
You know,
Perhaps.
I find oftentimes during the introduction, you'll say something that like immediately
Sparks
connects with me. And you ended by saying
Leftovers are
deadly.
Yeah.
And so
They are, dude.
So
Fucking deadly.
something that I will get to at the end of this conversation. However, I just want to say up front, I hate leftovers.
Fuck yeah, dude. Fuck leftovers, dude.
Suck.
Leftovers fucking suck. And I've got a story here that'll make that hopefully will change someone else's tune out there. Because if they just saw us do that high five and say leftovers suck, and they thought, you know what? No, you suck. Well, wait till the end of the episode, and maybe you'll find out why leftovers actually not good.
You're gonna want to stick around for that.
Yeah, we plan that. So how do we? Well, first thing, I want to start this whole thing off first by saying a little sort of like fun announcement. Our good friend Jody Carrington, who's been on the show a couple of times, we've gone to see her speak during her book tour. We become very good friends with Jody and their team.
She's amazing.
She is.
Her team is amazing.
Yeah.
Jody's amazing.
Big shout out to Marty. Big shout out to Jody and all the rest. Jody has a new podcast that is just about to launch. And as you are listening to this right now, you can go listen to the trailer. The podcast is called Everybody Comes From Somewhere. And
everyone comes from somewhere.
Everyone comes from somewhere.
Same thing. You know? Same thing.
It isn't the same though, so search it up correctly. Everyone comes from somewhere. And it's going to be, I'm telling you, it's going to be like one of those shows that I think is going to change lives.
Totally.
And I don't say that lightly.
Mm-hmm.
That like, you know, we've had people write us and say, your show's changed our life. And whenever I read that, I go, oh,
really?
Whoa. Okay. Like, have you listened to other shows that exist? Because there are some shows that are like actually life changing, and this Everyone Comes From Somewhere is going to be one of those. So go check it out. Go listen to the trailer, and you know, not to like fucking brag or anything, but we're producing it. So if you like what we do, and you want to hear someone do what we try to do way fucking better, go listen to Everyone Comes From Somewhere.
Yeah. The last thing I want to say too is so there's two types of episodes. One is Jody having a conversation with a guest.
Yeah.
And then the second one is her just like speaking her mind or talking about, you know, some aspect of like self-love or, you know, whatever she thinks is important to share on that episode. And those solo episodes that she's recorded, I mean, they're like some of my favorite pieces of like audio production I've ever listened to.
Stuff.
And like just it's moving, it's funny, it's amazing. So not to beat a dead horse, but go listen to the trailer and then listen to the show when it comes out next week, October 5th.
Sweet. Let's get into it today. Taylor's not with us. His daughter is just a bucket of disease coming home from daycare and has spread, you know, the regular kid sickness to the folks. So
we're all going to be so sick for the next.
So I said off the top,
6 months.
I'm not well. And man, holy fuck. Let me tell you, the last like couple of weeks, I want to give like a little sort of broad overview of like what's been going on in my life, because people might start to hear it in a couple of, I've missed a few episodes that maybe have or have not aired yet. I got back from Portugal and like my health just tanked. I think I had too much fun on vacation and I got home and my body was just like, yo, time to check out, bro.
Your body was actually like, whoa, wait. What were we doing before? Because that was sweet. And why are we back here? So it was your body trying to protect you from no longer being on vacation and telling you You need to go back on vacation.
Yeah, I mean, there might be some truth to that. I won't go into all of it, but there's, because it's actually quite overwhelming, and I feel like I'm dealing with a lot. But and I'll probably get into some of that other stuff later, as I start to figure out what the fuck's going on with me. But one of the weird things that happened was maybe I mentioned on the show before, but I had this. I developed this itch on my arm, and the itch, there was no rash. It was just an itchy arm in like one spot. And like, it's not uncommon that in the past I've had like a couple tattoos get like a little itchy, but this was different. It was like raising the tattoo ink on my skin. It was really, really, really insanely itchy. The itch spread all across all my limbs. So both arms, both legs.
You're making me itchy
my
right
butt
now.
cheeks. But my torso was kind of fine. Nothing on my head, and nothing in like some very telling spaces, like between my fingers, my wrists, my ankles, armpits. So very quickly, this all spread over the span of like over the span of like a week and a half, and it went. And I'm talking like if you are rating itch out of 10, 10 out of 10. This is itching so much, scratching to the degree of tearing my skin apart. I showed you my legs. My legs were like, they were just ripped apart.
They were raw.
Yeah. So I wake up in the middle of the night itching. And so we have no fucking clue what's going on. I'm doing everything. I'm using Benadryl cream, fucking Gold Bond cream, hydrocortisone. I'm taking Reactin. I'm taking Reactin with Zantac, which apparently is like a fucking like secret sauce in the nursing world.
Really?
I told one doctor, I was like, yeah, I tried Zantac with Reactin with Zantac, and the doctor went, whoa, you did that one too.
What is Zantac?
Zantac's like an antacid.
Okay. And
it's
that's
meant
like
for like heartburn.
That's like it's like a trick of the trade.
I guess so.
Type of thing.
Yeah.
So they're like, oh wow, like you know your stuff.
They were, yeah. I got bonus points. So I tried everything, nothing worked. And Kira was not itchy. So we ruled out like bed bugs. We ruled out scabies because again, I wasn't having like the markings of scabies. So I was thinking, man, I don't know. Like maybe I have some sort of, we've been talking about brain worms and shit on the show. So I'm like, I got some sort of like gut worm, brain worm thing going. I thought maybe I was like, fuck, maybe this is it. Maybe cancer got me. Like I was just going, and then I was like, maybe I'm reacting to Trikafta.
Which would be real. I mean,
it'd be a bummer.
That would be really bad because then you would no longer be able to take it.
Well, no, I would just take it and have to live with
just
the
be
itch.
itchy forever.
Yeah, I would be itchy forever to take Trikafta. Then
right, of course. Okay,
I'd probably die of staph infection before I die of CF.
right. I thought maybe that, but if they realized that you were having like some sort of maybe allergic reaction to it, would they not take you off of it?
They probably would. Yeah.
Yeah.
Either way,
it wasn't that.
Well, we don't know. We still don't know. So here's the thing. I went to the CF clinic. My doctor at the CF clinic, Dr. Chason, she was like,
we do CF, not not itches.
Yeah, she's like, wrong office. She was like, I have no idea. I'm stumped. So she referred me to dermatology. Got into dermatology like that. Like no wait. Literally 2 days later.
Is that surprising? Is it typically a wait? Did they like get you ahead of the line or it was a good time to like be there?
I honestly, dude, I think clinic to clinic, like specialty clinic to specialty clinic, they're kind of like, look, we got this guy, he's got CF, we don't know what it could be. And then they go, okay, cool, we'll get him in.
It's like when you go to airport security and they take you in the like Nexus line.
It's just like, it is kind of like fast pass.
Or they like, that person's standing there and they're like, we'll just pre-screen your bag and then they bump you into like the fast line.
Or if you're traveling with a baby.
Yeah, right, yeah.
So anyway, I got babied into derm and I see this doctor who's he's like Dr. Cool, Dr. McGilvery. His name is Dr. McGilvery. Doctor way, way too cool. Like I was like, can we cancel this appointment and go grab a beer? He was so cool. So anyway, Dr. Cool took me aside and he was looking at me and he was like, dude, I don't fucking know. He was like, this is wild. Like he goes, all I can tell you is that what I'm going to tell you is going to be kind of annoying, but it's itch without rash. And he goes, an itch without rash is just a catch-all phrase because you can get itch without rash from a trillion
I mean,
things.
I could have diagnosed you with that.
I know.
Like, yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure you started the story by saying I had an itch
Without a rash. Yeah.
So you're no further ahead, essentially. I mean, you've ruled out, like, I guess
the big ones. But,
yeah.
But also he was like, I'll test your blood. We'll see if there's like any kind of weird blood markers. He was like, but honestly, I don't know. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put you on high dose prednisone, which is a steroid.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to put you on that for a week. And I'm going to get you started on light therapy.
What does prednisone do?
Dude.
Like, so it's a steroid, but like what?
Shit.
Like, do you take a pill
Yeah.
and it just like
It
changes your body? Like it does something different?
It is a fucking it is a miracle drug. It is a bad drug to be on long term, but like to take it for 7 days. My last dose was today. To take for 7 days is fucking, as long as you're not having any adverse reactions, it's fucking awesome.
Really?
Dude, it's awesome. I'm super high energy. I'm fucking hungry all the time. And and enjoying food, especially like at night when I have like 10 milligram gummy. And I'm just like fucking eating. Yeah, it's awesome. I got high energy. The itch went away like that, dude. Itch went away in like 2 days.
Whoa, really? Okay.
I love it. But again, you don't want to take it for much longer than
Is it
that.
like
Then
limitless?
you start getting into, it can really, it drops your immune system shot. People that are like, that have no kidney and are doing like dialysis, they're on prednisone like chronically. It causes moon face.
Right. That's when your face turns into literally.
Dude, you literally look like the fucking
the man in the moon.
Yeah. You look like the album cover of like Smashing Pumpkins. Just a big moon with a happy face. There's a bunch of like negative side effects long term, but the short term, like this last week, it rocked.
Okay, so are you worried that since today is your last day that like it will go away, or is the idea that like it jacks up like your immune system and sort of everything so that your body can fight off potentially whatever is causing
the itch? I think this
rash?
drug just was like, we are gonna stomp this motherfucker out. But here's the thing. So this morning, I went in for phototherapy the first time. And I said, hey, I don't think I need this because the prednisone.
Phototherapy, that's when you they give you like a camera and you walk around and take pictures of like nature and stuff.
Yeah.
That's what it is?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, so they gave me a
course
a mirrorless like Nikon. It was really nice.
Yeah.
Free. I get to keep it.
Sweet.
No,
what is phototherapy
is like UVB broadband spectrum light therapy. It's a tanning bed. But wait, before I get into that, because
is it real? Dude, this is the like you went to the real.
It's crazy.
Real,
oh yeah, I went to
yeah.
Okay, so I show up and I was like, look, I don't think I need the prednisone, and they were like, yeah, well, listen, the prednisone is going to stop today, and a lot of times people will have a bounce back reaction where once you stop the prednisone, whatever's been causing the itch is going to like come back.
We're in the clear.
Yeah. So they were like, we're going to use light therapy to kind of replace the prednisone. And they were like, and it's going to be, dude, it's so annoying.
It sounds made up.
It's so annoying. They're like 5 days a week, every single day, 5 days a week, for 4 weeks. And I was like, oh my God, guys.
For an entire month?
Fucking kidding me?
So you have to go into the tanning salon.
Go into the VG, 4th floor, for literally. And by the way, this thing looks like a time machine. You step in front of this big fucking thing that literally looks like a time machine or like a body melter or something. and it's got that like old school kind of like USSR sort of like pale beige color with like fucking big buttons and and
to
lights
be fair, the Victoria General building in general,
yeah.
It feels like you're in Soviet.
And they're like, look, so you're going to go in there and it's going to be laughable how short of a period of time you're going to be in there. So today they were like, we're going to start you off with like 34 seconds. And you gotta put sunscreen, like SPF like 100 on your lips and on your nipples.
No.
I swear to God.
Do they apply for you?
No,
or
no,
do you-
no. You get those little like tan glasses that
Yeah.
are so dark you can't see shit through them, and you got to cover your genitals.
Like how you tuck them like in between your legs.
Either
You
wear a
like to
jock
tuck-
strap or wear underwear. But if you have to if you have to burn your ass, then so I was like, I'll just have to buy a thong, I guess, and just wear a thong in there.
Wait. Actually,
I'm not joking.
But wait. So what did you wear today?
I just wore they were like, today you can just wear your underwear, but like tomorrow you might want to come with a jock strap.
What?
I'm not even joking, dude.
No,
I'm not even joking.
no.
I might just buy a leaf and just put it on my dick. So, and then they go, all right, 34 seconds. And then they were like, okay, and listen, this is your day. This is all the light for you for today. This is your entire day's sunlight in 34 seconds. So if you're going to go outside today, wear sunscreen and cover up with long sleeve shirts. And I was like, guys, is this okay? Like, what do we? So I was like, can I take my phone in to like just get a video for the podcast? And they were like, and they were like coming on. And I was like, I'm not gonna photo. It's just gonna be me. And they were like, yeah, okay, sure. So I brought my phone in. Dude, check this shit out.
That is not you. We're not watching a video of you right now. We just watched a video of someone being
That was The
vaporized.
Watchmen. That was the creation of Dr. Manhattan. But that's what it felt like, dude. I got zapped, and then they were like, okay, cool. See you tomorrow at 7:15 in the morning, and I'm going to do that
No.
every day for 4 weeks.
Did you notice, like was the 38 seconds intense in any sort of way?
No,
or
I
was it
didn't
like,
fucking wouldn't even have known.
really?
When the lights turned off, there was like a feeling of not being in light.
Does your skin
You know, it's like when you're standing in the sun and then a cloud goes over the sun and you can feel it on your skin.
yeah,
It's like almost like a little cool
right.
transition. It was just that.
You felt like a temperature change
Yeah.
on the surface of
Yeah,
your
very-
skin
very
rather than
slight,
like
though.
but so like I mean I think I've said this before on the podcast, but like I used to go to a tanning bed
Yeah.
all the time.
Yeah.
And when you would get out, your skin would feel burnt. And also like I would lie to the person and be like, they would be like, it's your first time. And I'm like, no, I go to the tanning salon down the road too. And like, I'm always in for like 15
I got memberships
minutes.
all across the city.
They're like, you're only allowed in for 8 minutes on your first time. And I'm like, no, just crank it up to 20.
Yeah.
And they're like, okay. And then they would just like literally fry me.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't wear those glasses because I didn't want to have the tan lines on my eyes.
Yeah.
Which is so bad for my skin.
Yeah.
But like when I would get out, I would feel almost like a tightness and like sort of burn
Didn't feel
feeling
it
on my skin.
But the other thing too is that they start you slow and they work you up. And
Right.
by work you up, today I started with 30 seconds or whatever.
Sounds too short.
They
to me.
work you up. They were like, the maximum anyone can stand in this thing on is 3 minutes and 30 seconds at this calibration, is what they said. At this calibration.
Like will it burn your skin? Like will it create a tan?
Yeah, you do. I think
Like-
you will get red. Oh, they said this too. They were like, stand very still. And they're like, within that 33 seconds, if you shift, you're going to get burnt
What?
yeah.
How?
Man, I'm telling you, when you see the machine, you go, oh, I get it. I'm surprised I'm still in this dimension. This thing looked like I was going to step into this thing from the VG and step out and there would be dinosaurs.
No offense, but it like to anybody listening to this who believes this stuff, but like it really sounds like, they would have like did a follow up of like crystal therapy afterwards or something like it.
It's
It
funny
sounds like it makes me, if that is real and that really works, it makes me wonder if crystals and stuff like that
Dude,
could work too.
you know what's so
because it
funny is
seems
like
so unbelievable.
And it's not just that machine. They've got like multiple different types in there. So I was in there while I was about to do mine. I look over and there's this like, it's this one room and it's like, that's where everybody goes for light therapy, phototherapy. And there was this older guy, probably like late 70s. And he was just sitting there with his hands in this like time machine for hands.
Oh, like the manicure, like the,
it was kind of like that.
drying your manicure.
Except way fucking heavier. And yeah, he was just like, doop-a-doo. Like,
what do you know what else they would treat?
I mean,
With
yeah,
that?
like eczema, psoriasis, fucking,
Okay.
I mean, I don't
Like
know.
skin
fucking
conditions, obviously.
itch without rash,
Yeah, right.
you know? I don't know.
That's wild. Well,
Yeah.
let us know next week how the whole week pans out.
Yeah.
And is it a goal for you to get up to 3 minutes and 30 seconds by the end?
No, dude, I don't want to do it at all, to be honest with you. I'm afraid it's going to fuck my tattoos, but anyway, we'll find out. So there's that. I'm not itchy anymore. We're trying to get to the bottom of it. And I also ended up with a sinus infection like 2 days ago. And I think I have depression, so I'm going to go see a therapist. So it's been a fucking time. And now enough about that. But I just thought, I just wanted to kind of get that out there because that fucking light therapy shit was fucking whack, dude. It was, it's going to be really interesting. Let's move on to some interesting stories. This one is very unfortunate. Periods suck. Apparently. Allegedly, periods suck.
I mean, we believe that they suck.
Well, I'm not,
but we just personally
I just don't know.
Experienced.
I've never been there, but I see it and it looks like it sucks. Well, there's a woman who suffered from a period for 83 days and it was so bad that she needed blood transfusions.
Whoa.
Yeah. So her name was Ronnie May, and periods suck is an understatement for poor Ronnie. She was writing for Insider. She detailed her awful, terrible mega period that lasted for 83 days and sent her to the hospital.
Whoa. Blood?
She said it was what she imagined it felt like after her water broke if she was pregnant. She said, when I looked down at my seat and floor, I was standing in a small pool of blood, she wrote.
Whoa.
So she's at work, right? She goes, I made it to the bathroom, got cleaned up as quickly as I could. But by the time I walked the 60 meters or so from the bathroom to my desk, blood was cascading down my leg again. In the 10 minutes it took me to drive home and get upstairs to the bathroom, there was a trail of blood following me.
Whoa.
Ronnie described the extreme effort she went to control the monstrous amount of blood coming out of her. She said, quote, to control the bleeding, I put in a tampon, lined my underwear with an overnight pad and a standard pad, then nestled into a second pair of panties. And within an hour or so, I had gone through a box of tampons and a pack of pads. And FYI, for like you and I, who probably aren't super aware, for context, that some women would take them months to go through that amount of stock.
Have you ever bought tampons like for a partner?
Yeah.
Isn't it interesting, like all of the different types that there are?
So many.
It's crazy, right?
Yeah.
Like heavy flow, light flow, athleisure type.
Yeah.
Like one's for doing ballet, one's for, like this type of dress, one for this type of dress. It's pretty crazy to like it must be difficult to know which ones to buy all the time.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I guess you kind of get
there's
to
so
know
many different occasions.
Yeah,
that
you kind of get to know your flow, though. I guess, right?
Right, but like also there's like one's for date night, one's for like something for when you're having a lazy day at home.
You got the sexy tampons, like with the vanilla like scent.
Is that just all marketing, or is do you think they're like really like? Is there
there's definitely marketing involved, but there's I think. I mean,
a strong difference.
I've been with partners who go, I typically have a really heavy flow. So like I bought a tampon or something and brought it back and they were like,
wrong.
That ain't gonna work.
Yeah.
That's not, they need like tampons for this kind of situation.
Whoa.
This is what I imagine Ronnie's, like the ants that are in Ronnie's office. This is what they were experiencing.
It looks like a guar show. Isn't that what they do isn't that what guar does?
Yeah.
They have we're watching a rave where the sprinkler system is spraying blood on everyone.
Do you know what movie that's from?
No, what is that?
Blade?
No, I haven't.
It's the opening scene of Blade. It's one of the best opening scenes of any movie of all time. She assumed the bleeding would slow down, as it always, it's always worse on the first day, apparently, allegedly.
Mm-hmm. I believe it.
She sought medical attention. She sought medical attention twice and was rushed to a hospital by an ambulance the second time she asked for help.
Whoa.
In the emergency room, here we go again. Listen to this. In the emergency room, a male doctor accused her of making it up.
No.
What the
No
fuck?
way.
She said, I vividly recall him asking me, are you sure? Are you sure about that? You sure you're bleeding as much as you say you are? What he had failed to notice was that she had a drip in for dehydration. The bedding had been changed multiple times in the 3 hours that she'd been there, and nurses had already administered medicines to try and stem the bleeding.
What?
She also had a blood transfusion. Doctors
so
then,
he goes in and he sees that they've already like, well, I mean, he doesn't see that
he
they've
doesn't
changed
see it.
the bed
Yeah,
a bunch
it's
of
just
times.
nurses
he's
in there doing their
he's like,
doing
are you
God's
sure?
work.
Because like,
Yeah.
because it's been cleaned up and managed. He's like, are you sure?
Dude, that doctor's such a fucking
Yeah.
man. Yeah, he's he's such a white male.
Definitely.
You know what I mean? Like,
definitely.
that is an epitome of a white man. What a fucking loser. So the doctor tried to send her home, and guess what Ronnie said?
No.
She said, "Fuck you, I ain't going home."
Go, Ronnie. Go, Ronnie.
You know what? I was gonna ask that when you said that she had put all of those all of the devices that you can get on at the same time and was at home trying to manage it.
All the
I was wondering,
devices.
like the thing that popped into my head at first was like, why didn't she just go to the hospital? But then I also realized, like, there's also stigma amongst women or people who bleed that
Yeah.
this is what it's like. Like,
Yeah.
you bleed a lot, or like,
Yeah, I mean-
if they say amongst each other, like,
Oh, it's like-
I had a really heavy period. Like, there's oftentimes you'll probably hear people going, yeah, me too. Like,
Yeah, I mean, how
but
many
they have
times have
no
we had
reference, right?
a person on who has endo, and they're they never got fucking diagnosed because their whole life they were just told by whether it's their parents or their friends or whatever or their fucking teachers. It's like,
it's supposed to be
it's
painful.
supposed to hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you bleed a lot.
Yeah.
That's well.
Yeah. So I don't blame this person for not going to the hospital, though. That is like immediately, but that's a lot of blood.
So she ended up staying in the hospital for a weekend.
Whoa.
They put an IUD inside of her to try to like control her periods, and eventually it was discovered that she had polycystic ovary syndrome, which is suffered by up to 20% of women across the world, according to
That
the National Library of Medicine.
Is insane.
So right there,
1 in 5.
almost a quarter
women.
of the women that we know or that that exist have polycystic ovary syndrome, which means that like if Ronnie went home that day, she could have died. If she just went home and bled out. So it's just important to A, listen to your body, and also B, listen to your patients.
So wait, this went on for 85 days. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
And like,
She had her period for 83 days.
okay.
And they were like, okay, we got to fucking do something about this.
But like the like first week it was that bad, and then they were able to manage
Yeah,
it,
I
but
think
it just continued to
that's
go
right.
on and on and on and
That's
on.
right. Yeah.
Jeez.
Isn't that fucking
That is intense.
brutal?
Yeah.
So wild shit. And shout out to Ronnie for advocating for herself. Okay, this next one, I think you're gonna like this, Bri. This is how do you feel about hands?
Better than I do about teeth.
Yeah, okay. Well,
Also, I've been getting so many recommended teeth videos since you went through my phone and liked all the teeth hashtags on my Instagram.
man, I did that for about 5 minutes straight. No one noticed I had your phone. Hashtag teeth, hashtag teeth surgery, hashtag teeth removal, hashtag
So I'm good
teeth
with hands, I
cleaning.
think.
All right, well, your hands actually have a lot to say about your health, which, I think I knew some of this, but then as I dug into it, a big shout out to Stina on Discord for supplying this little treat. But your hands actually reveal a lot about the state of your health. And this is something that's been recognized for at least since the time of Hippocrates, the father of modern medicine.
Wait, but like, you mean like back in the day when they were like, oh, I'm going to read your palm.
A little bit different from palm reading. But I mean, not so different. It's just not about the lines in your hands. It's about lines elsewhere. So the ancient Greek physician was the first person who described clubbing and club fingernails. Yeah, Hippocrates. In a patient with empyema. Empyema, which is where pus fills the space between the lungs and the membrane around it.
Huh.
And in the 5th century BC is when he coined clubbed fingernails, clubbing of the fingers. Clubbing is where the nails look like an upside down spoon, and it's still recognized as a sign of disease. Nowadays, clubbing is not just linked to epyema. It's also linked to CF, cystic fibrosis, cirrhosis of the liver, thyroid conditions. So like I have clubbed fingernails. They're not, they are clubbed for sure, but they're not that bad.
Mhm.
Here's some really bad clubbing.
Oh, whoa.
Like that's severe clubbed fingernails, which like, you know, my fingers aren't like this, but you can see the similarities of my fingers to this.
Totally.
compared to
Yours don't
normal.
look like that. I mean, like if your fingernails and those, if your fingers and those fingers were Pokemon, yours would be like the baby Pokemon version.
Yeah.
Where
And
you
that
can
would
see
be,
like,
yeah, that would be the,
you know, like it's like a Charmander and a Charizard, and like your fingers are like Charmander with like a little like flaming tail, and you could see how it could grow into a Charizard, but like it definitely doesn't look the same as a Charizard.
100%. Yeah. So it's also linked to thyroid conditions as well. So that's clubbing, but there's more. So another a nail change that can signal disease is Lindsay's nails. Now this is where one or more nails are half white and half reddish brown. Have you ever seen nails like this? This is Lindsay's nails.
No. Crazy.
Interesting,
Yeah,
right?
that, like it looks like a rocket popsicle without the blue.
It does. So around 50% of people with chronic kidney disease have nails like this, but it can also be signs of cirrhosis of the liver and Behçet's disease, a rare condition that causes inflammation of the blood vessels. I think with Behçet's, you also get like blisters in your mouth and shit.
I like the name, like the word Behçet's sounds nice.
Sounds yummy.
It sounds
Sounds
yummy.
like it sounds like it's on toast. It's got some diced tomato with like a fucking like olive tempeh, you know, some olive oil.
Yeah,
Behçet's.
like a fancy
A little
different
bit of
version
melted
of a,
cheese on the top.
like not.
I mean, that's
it's a-
bruschetta.
It's like, well, I mean, I was gonna say it's like a cousin of the bruschetta, but it's Behçet's. Behçet's.
Terry's nails. Terry, come on, Terry. Terry's nails is where one or more fingernails have a ground glass appearance. Now I was looking up
A what?
ground glass.
Okay.
But when I looked at the photos, I really couldn't see it. So I didn't prep anything. But
Okay.
you can find that in cirrhosis of the liver. Cirrhosis of the liver has a lot of these. But also with type 2 diabetes, kidney failure, and HIV.
Crazy. Is it that it affects, like it's affecting the flow of something through your body?
You know what? I don't think
your fingertips are all the way out at the very end of your
Yeah.
body. And so it's like,
I don't know if we really know.
because like the nails that were like half red, half white.
Yeah.
Like, how does that stop? Like,
I don't know. I
how
mean,
does
to me,
it-
that just looks like a couple cold fingies.
yeah.
You know, they got
Yeah.
cold. Their fingies are cold.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like the jury's out with the CF thing about the clubbing of the fingernails. Like, I don't think we really truly know why.
I remember you saying something about like
The oxygenation
yeah.
of the, but that's
Yeah.
what, so I thought it had to do with like a lack of oxygen to the
Did we
tips of
ask
fingers.
somebody and they were like, no?
We asked someone, and
Yeah.
we asked Paul Eckford from CF Canada, and he was like, I don't think we know. I don't think we actually know.
Yeah.
Like, so anyway, another one is Merck's nails, which is where one or more horizontal lines run across the fingernail. So Merck's nails are like this. Those are
Whoa.
cool. That looks like those nails are very well kept.
They look like they're gonna grow into French tips.
Yeah, right. yeah, dude, totally. And then so that's where the nail pattern indicates a decrease in the most abundant protein in the blood, albumin. Albumin. These nail markings can be an indicator of kidney disease.
Man, it's all
It's a lot of kidney
fuck
stuff.
up your fingertips.
Yeah. But sometimes changes in nail color and pattern are not sinister and are merely signs of aging. Napoleon nails, so called because of their 3 distinct color zones, are often seen in people over the age of 70 and are nothing to worry about. Here's a set of Napoleon nails right here. And fucking well done. They look great. I mean, those are beautiful.
Those are painted.
Yeah, very beautifully
They look
painted
very
Napoleon
nice,
nails. I love it. Now, that's the nails. What about the palms?
Okay.
Okay.
Sweaty.
Yes. If your palms are becoming increasingly sweating,
And your knees are weak
in
and
the-
your arms are heavy.
yeah. Now you're
It could
you're
be
probably
your
going to throw up
mom's
mom's spaghetti, which is going to lead us to why leftovers are bad.
Great segue.
So if you're getting sweaty palms in the absence of nervousness, hot temperatures, or exercise, it could be due to a faulty nerve signal causing the sweat glands to become active, which is typically benign, and it's called hyperhidrosis. But unexplained sweaty palms in face, neck, and armpits can be a sign of thyroid problems. Hyperthyroidism is where the thyroid gland in the neck produces too much thyroxine. Excess of this hormone can cause bodily processes to speed up and can be the cause of sweaty palms. Not really something to worry about. You can treat that with drugs pretty easily, I think. A more concerning palm change is the appearance of small areas of red or purple discoloration in the palms of the hands and fingers. This is called Osler's syndrome.
That looks like chickenpox, like
Osler's nodes.
hand chickenpox.
They're typically painful, red 1 millimeter to 10 millimeter colored nodules on the fingers appearing for hours to days.
Wow.
And then there's another lesion called Janeway lesions, which are irregular shaped, varying sizes, typically seen in palms and aren't painful. But either of those, you want to go to the ER stat.
Okay, why? What? Like,
It's the sign of bacterial endocarditis.
so you got bugs.
You got bugs in your heart.
You got bugs in you.
You got heart bugs.
Heart bugs. Little heart bugs. You know what's crazy is how many.
It's actually the inflammation of the inside lining of the heart. But yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, same thing.
It's crazy how many different things can happen to you. Like
It's way too
it's
many.
endless.
Dude, it's endless. And oftentimes we have no idea. Like skin with itch without rash. What the fuck?
Yeah, it's crazy that.
Where's that even from?
You know, like if you're listening to this right now and you would quickly identify as someone who doesn't really have any physical ailment, then be grateful, because like there are so many things that can go wrong with your body. It's crazy.
Yeah. Or you get hit by a car and splatter into two.
Yeah. So live your life.
Yeah, that's it.
And maybe don't do anything. Maybe just live in your house and don't go outside at all, because like it's dangerous out there.
Yeah,
like
bubble boy it up.
You could get bacterial infection around your heart.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Now, but also, if you are someone that has a longer ring finger than index finger, you're probably superior to the rest of the world and gifted at everything that you do, and you'll probably never get sick at all. What do you got? Same. Now, here's an interesting little fact. The length of your fingers can give you some indication of your risk of developing certain diseases later in life.
Whoa.
The length of the index finger versus the ring finger in men and women varies. In women, they are fairly equal in length, but in men, the ring finger is typically longer than the index finger. This is believed to be due to exposure to hormones in the womb. The longer ring than index finger relationship is associated with better performance in a number of sports in men and women, but also a risk of developing knee and hip osteoarthritis in women. So if you have, what I read was that if you have a longer ring finger than index finger, it is
your ring finger.
My ring finger is just a bit longer than my index, and your ring finger is very notably longer than your index.
Okay,
so that means that you and I were. It has to be.
We're specimens.
Yeah, basically. I mean, what I read was it had something to do with like the amount of testosterone that you were being provided in utero.
Okay.
Now for female babies,
My
I don't
dad
know. Like, I don't know if
actually
that's like
carried
estrogen or if it's testosterone. Just yeah.
It was my dad.
My dad carried me for 9 months in his nuts.
Yeah. That's why I
got this
my
fucking
ring finger's
gangly ass
so
ring
fucking
finger. There's nothing that you can do to change your finger length, just like your penis length.
long. Okay.
Yeah. So
I'm cool with my finger length.
isn't that kind of interesting though?
Yeah, it is.
Just by looking at someone's hands, you can tell so much about their potential health, or even down to their like future.
I mean,
health.
initially,
Kind of like palm reading.
I was surprised at first to think about it and learn about all the ways, but at the same time, it kind of makes sense because it's like, I mean, ultimately, it's just part of your body,
Yeah.
and also they're like the parts of your body that are like the furthest away from your heart. So like,
Yeah.
it makes sense that like different things would be happening way out there. You know?
Yeah, totally. Yeah. I wonder about our feet, you know?
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe our feet can tell us.
Well,
Something
I mean, you know, if any reflexologist is listening, they would definitely tell you that you can, but there's also probably some people out there that would call that pseudoscience.
Yeah, they might have to
Have you
shine
ever
some
seen a
lights on your feet.
reflexologist though?
No.
Man, I'm telling you right now, it might be labeled as a pseudoscience somewhere on the internet, like Wikipedia, maybe, probably. But
You got
that
meridians?
shit feels good.
You got meridians in your feet?
I hope I do, and because because if meridians feel good being all touched and fucking poked at,
Are you a foot guy?
dude. I had when I was doing Artzuka, it was so funny. I was doing Artzuka. It was like it was non-union. I think they fucking felt bad it was non-union. I was working my ass off, but I didn't care. It was my first ever like TV gig. So I was like, you know, I would have been like, I have to suck the dick of every cameraman. Like, of course, like I'll fucking do whatever. And the producer of season 1, she was so sweet. Her name was Robin. And I remember her like every day she'd be like, how are you? How are you doing today? You all right? Like, do you need anything? Do you want me to put like set aside a little like space for you offset with like, and just like, and she would just do it and just fill it with treats. And like, she just spoiled me. And so one day I would never complain. But one day she was like, how are you doing? You doing okay? And I was like, yeah, I'm doing good. I actually like, could I get like a mat to stand on? Cause like, it was just hard concrete floors in the CBC, like this hour's 22 minutes studio. And I was like, can I get like a mat to stand on? Like something cushy? Cause like, it's just, I feel like my feet are fucking killing me from standing on set for, 12 hours a day. And she was like, oh my God. Yes, of course. So next day I went in, there's a mat there, like a really nice, like fucking like memory foam mat.
You know, the ones that like that rich people have in their kitchens.
Dude, that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I had that standing on there. I was like, that's amazing. And then at lunch, she's like, I'm extended your lunch by 30 minutes and I have a reflexologist in your dressing room.
Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck? And I went down, there's this like, it's like 40-year-old hippie lady wearing crystals. And she had a reclining chair laid out. And I just laid there and she went to town on my feet. And I'm telling you right now, man, I became a foot guy.
Do you Google pictures of feet now since then?
I'll put a foot in my mouth at this point now. I got
like sucking on toes?
Sucking on toes. Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe your feet have something to do with it.
I feel like they probably do.
Yeah.
I mean, that would make sense to me.
So we did a live show this week, and it was a fucking delight.
It was awesome.
Big shout out to Good Grief, Nova Scotia, who invited us out to take part in a little event that they were holding. And we talked about tattoos and grief and yard sales and grief and how those things intersect. And it was very fascinating. Susan Cadell, Mary Ellen McDonald, 2 amazing guests that we had that are part of Good Grief Nova Scotia. They're doing amazing work, very smart women. And we talked about this woman who gained a bunch of attention on TikTok for cooking the recipes that she finds on gravestones. So gravestone epitaphs oftentimes would be like, Leslie Nielsen's is "Let Her Rip," which is like a reference to like just how much he loved farting. Like farting was really funny. So "Let Her Rip" is what it says.
Right.
Someone else's might say like "beloved mother of," or whatever. Well, there's very rarely there are gravestones where the epitaph is a secret recipe.
Actually, like I had never heard of this before.
Yes. So it is rare, but there are a number of them that exist.
Do you know like how would you guess that if we went to like the grave down the road or whatever, do you think that if we looked at every gravestone that we would find one in our graveyard?
I'd say
Do you
probably
think
not.
it's even more rare than that?
I'd say there's like, honestly, I'd say that I have nothing to base this on, but I did read that it's very rare. I would say
gun to your head.
Gun to my head. 150 gravestones across America.
Okay. All right. That's a small number.
I'm guessing.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay.
So So this woman, Rosie Grant, she bakes the recipes that she finds etched on strangers' gravestones. And the very first recipe that she did was a batch of spritz cookies. Okay.
I mean, without knowing how this goes, I have to assume that these recipes have to be bangers. Like they must be.
They must be.
They must be good.
Right?
Like if.
Well, here's what I thought. So to have an epitaph written on your gravestone, the more letters, the more words, the more expensive, and it can get very expensive.
Right.
So oftentimes these recipes are not the directions; it's literally just a list of ingredients.
No.
And the other thing, and I'm making this up, because I like the lore of this, but my thought is that it's the recipes are always the secret recipe. You know, it's like, oh yeah, my Nona, she's got a lasagna, but she fucking won't tell us. She won't tell us how she makes it.
Yeah.
And then once Nona dies, like we're never gonna get that lasagna ever again. Well, Nona's like, yeah, it is a secret recipe, and there is secret ingredients. And when I die, I'm gonna slap that motherfucker on my grave so that whoever wants to try to make Nona's thing again, they can do it.
But
they gotta come visit me to get the fucking
that is actually
that's great,
that's amazing. Right? Except it would be even better if they just put like the last ingredient and then just like didn't put the amount. Yeah. You know, like just like
well, that's the thing
is trying to like finesse the amount. I mean, the other
thing though is that some of them don't even put the amounts because of the cost.
That is, I mean,
so it's just like, you know,
I don't like those people because like to me that's pointless. Like the point of the recipe is like tell me how much.
The fun part though is like the alchemy of it. It's like, okay, I have all the parts. Now I have to figure out the alchemy.
I know.
To distill it down to the perfect amount.
Like
of these things.
So I made Andy Hay from Andy's East Coast Kitchen put up a pizza pocket, like healthy pizza pocket recipe the other day, and Maddie and I made them, and they were amazing. But I could tell that like, you know, when you make something that a chef made and like, you know, yours never looks as good.
Yeah.
And so the dough was baking powder, flour, and Greek yogurt. And he gives the amounts, but even so, in trying to follow the amounts, like it was like 3 cups of flour, and I probably put like 2.9 cups of flour, and like they were too sticky.
Yeah, but
like
everyone knows
like
that Andy Hay he just takes all of his he gets everything from Costco. It's like Artuca. He makes it look like he's doing it.
It's pre-made.
And then, exactly. And then he just pulls it out from under the counter, like the one that he bought from Sobeys.
Yeah,
it's fucking done.
Right.
I mean, everyone knows that.
Everybody does know that.
Everyone knows this. Totally. That's how Andy works.
He would never really chef anything.
That lazy fuck. Just kidding, Andy. I love you, buddy.
But yeah, they were like, they just weren't as good, you know, like even knowing the numbers.
Yeah. It's a secret ingredient.
Well, how did this girl do?
So from her kitchen, Rosie Grant, from her kitchen in Tacoma Park, Maryland, I guess is what MD would be. She mixed the batter in a big bowl. This is for the spritz cookies. There were no instructions to follow, only a list of simple ingredients: butter, sugar, vanilla, an egg, flour, baking soda, and salt. She said the cookies were fucking amazing.
No.
So since her initial foray into baking that gravestone recipe a year ago, she had made several other recipes she found in cemeteries across the country, kind of across the world. Baking delicacies by the deceased has become somewhat of a hobby for Grant, and it's unusual to be sure, but super fulfilling.
Man, I don't know. Honestly, I feel like you need the amounts. I'm stuck on this bit because like
that's the fun part. The fun part is trying to figure it out.
But that's not those aren't Nona's spritz cookies. Those are just cookie ingredients. Like,
I mean, that's true. Yeah, that's true. That's true. But that's just one. That's just one. You know, maybe she did find some Nona's secret thing.
Actually, I thought I was going to love this, and I'm kind of hating it right now.
So Grant said, cooking these recipes has shown me an alternative side to death. It's a way to memorialize someone and celebrate their life, which I think is really fucking sweet. Before she stumbled upon her first recipe, she had never heard of cooking instructions on graves. It's not a commonplace sentiment for a headstone, she said. But there are certainly a sprinkling of them out there. And once she got a taste, she made her mission to find more. When she baked the spritz cookies last October, Grant had recently wrapped up an internship at Congressional Cemetery in D.C. as a part of her coursework for a Master of library and information sciences degree at the University of Maryland.
Whoa.
Isn't that fucking cool?
Whoa. That's
So
cool that
she's-
she was
she's-
working in
She's going to
graveyards.
be a librarian, and so she gets an internship at a graveyard.
I work the graveyard.
That's
shift.
amazing.
In one of her classes, Grant was instructed to start a social media account. And so her professor suggested she start a new TikTok profile to document her cemetery internship. So she dug the idea and she called the account Ghostly Archive.
That's actually part of school now, is like starting a TikTok
Yeah, I guess
account?
so. Yeah.
That's
I don't-
crazy.
yeah. So at the time, she said, I was very new to the cemetery world, she said, adding that her initial posts, including one detailing the 5 things she learned on the first day of her internship, another highlighting Congressional Cemetery's LGBTQ section. Once the internship ended, she continued chronicling cemetery content on her TikTok account. And she quickly realized that she's not the only one with a graveyard fascination. She said, I discovered cemetery TikTok, which is its own gigantic niche. Grant explaining that she unearthed countless cemetery-themed accounts. They call themselves taphophiles, a person with a passion for fucking gravestones. Oh, wait, hold on. Sorry. Passion for cemeteries, funerals, and gravestones. I don't know where I didn't see fucking there. As a new taphophile herself, Grant spent much of her spare time surfing the web for cemetery stories. And her search led her to an Atlas Obscura post about Naomi Odessa Miller Dawson. Crazy name. Naomi Odessa Miller Dawson's spritz cookie recipe is what she found. Etched into the gravestone in Brooklyn, New York. The lighthearted gravestone epitaph is a tip of the hat to the life's simple joys, read the post. Grant was intrigued. So, what a cool gift she's putting on her gravestone, she said, and said, I'm going to try to make it. So she saw the post, saw the recipe, and she tried to make it. Fucking made it, put it on TikTok. It blew the fuck up. Blew up. Super viral. So she spent the last year scouring for gravestone recipes online and baking all of them. The second one she made was Martha Catherine K. Kirkham Andrews' famous fudge. K's famous fudge. So many names.
And was there quantities?
Well, let's check it out. Here is, I removed the TikTok song to make things easier on us.
Great.
And I'll just put in, let's find something here. There we go. How about this?
There we go. Yes.
Right? So
She
here's
has-
the grave.
She has quantities.
Yeah, right. She laid it out. Fucking Kay didn't skimp on the. No, this music's sick. All right, she's mixing it up. I mean, dude, fudge has got to be easy. And she brought it to the grave, and she had a little treat. Look at that.
That's sweet.
Isn't that great?
Can you play that from the start again? Just pause it at the recipe. I want to see.
Yeah,
Like,
I can't actually pause it from here, but
Okay. Yeah.
but you can see it.
Yeah.
You got 1 cup in there.
Yeah. Yeah.
1K, 1K, 2 cups.
At least there was quantities in that. That makes me feel better about these graves. Actually, these grave recipes
Yeah.
actually being the real recipes the person used.
So the recipe is engraved on a headstone in Logan, Utah, and Grant shared the video of her fudge baking process on TikTok, and Kay Andrews' family came across it.
No.
So they said, I think she would find it very heartwarming that her fudge recipe is living on, said Natalie Andrews, Kay Andrews' DC-based granddaughter. My grandma would have been so delighted by it, which I think that deserves a little. Kay's fudge is one of 11 gravestone recipes that Grant has made and mastered so far. She has baked Christmas cookies, no-bake chocolate oatmeal cookies, date and nut bread, nut rolls, yeast cake, peach cobbler, snickerdoodle cookies, blueberry pie, and cheese dip.
Wait, what? What is the cheese dip? Just like melt some cheese and then dip some shit in it?
I guess, man. Yeah, I don't know. Melt cheddar on Tostitos.
That's all it said.
Yeah. And now she ends her TikToks with another recipe to die for. Oh.
That's really good.
So it's pretty cool. It's pretty. I really, that story actually is like really feel good, kind of nice, heartwarming. And again, like our conversation, which we will be publishing probably next week, I think, or in a couple of weeks. But our conversation about tattoos and yard sales, it was a really great way to like just kind of try to encourage shifting the way that we view death and the way that we converse about death.
Yeah.
And I think this is a great example of that. It's
I mean, also recipe TikTok, like what a great TikTok account to blow up because
and the blend of death
like-
and recipe, you know, like
totally. And when I was watching, Andy Hayes, it was an Instagram reel that he had made. And like, dude, like if you're watching the recipe and you're just playing it back, and like I must have played that video 1,000 times while I was making the recipe, and it was super simple. So like, no wonder her account's blowing up. People are like rewatching these videos like hundreds of times. Yeah. Makes a lot of sense.
So let's move on to this week's edition of. Oh my God,
that's amazing.
There's a lot. A man, 20, found dead in bed after reheating tomato pasta at his parents' house.
Yes. Yeah. Fucking leftovers, dude.
God damn it. So a student, this is very unfortunate story, but we're going to find the humor here. A student died after eating a bowl of reheated pasta in tomato sauce at his parents' house.
I don't like that because I can imagine how
easy that would be.
Yes.
AJ from Brussels, Belgium, had prepared the dish 5 days. I mean, okay, you know what? I'm going to say this too, though. Fucking
5 days.
Grow up, though. Like
5
for
days
real.
leftovers.
Dude, AJ prepared the dish 5 days earlier and left it at room temperature in the kitchen.
Oh, whoa, that's nasty.
He came back into the kitchen 5 days later, took a little bite.
Oh no. No. Turn that off.
I gotcha.
I didn't like that.
It was fat catfish Cooley eating dog food.
Ew.
So after a long day at school, the poor fucking 20-year-old quickly reheated the 5-day-old room temperature pasta meal in the microwave to eat before heading out to play soccer. He returned home just 30 minutes later. He returned home 30 minutes later suffering from a headache, stomach pains, nausea, and eventually experienced diarrhea and vomiting. God damn it, dude. He drank some water and attempted to sleep off the pain, falling asleep at around midnight and never woke up.
Whoa.
His parents checked on him the following morning because he didn't get out of bed for school, and they found him dead.
Whoa,
Investigators determined that he passed away around 4 a.m., about 10 hours after consuming the leftover pasta.
Whoa.
An autopsy later found that AJ had a moderate centrilobular liver necrosis, which likely causes organs to shut down.
Whoa.
The report said the spaghetti had been kept at room temperature for several days. This allowed Bacillus cereus, cereus, Bacillus cereus to grow at very high concentrations and produce the high toxin concentration, 14.8 microgram per gram, which was found in the pasta, which is likely responsible for the fatal outcome.
Wait, so he lived with his parents?
Yeah.
And so he had left, like, I mean,
Did
it wasn't
he hide
just
it?
him. Like,
You know,
did
they take it and like go, I'm going to stash this
in his, like, was it
in
in
the
his
fucking
room? Or like,
yeah.
like, you know, his parents walked by and saw this pasta.
Maybe his parents were on vacation, you know, and he was just like living it up.
Yeah. But then they showed up the night before and he was already asleep and they were like, oh, he's just what a long week.
Yeah.
That is a little bit, I mean, this is fishy.
Well, there was no fish. It was just pasta and tomato sauce. It was mom's spaghetti. And AJ died in 2008, but his story reemerged recently after some users of TikTok and Reddit took to the platforms to warn others about fried rice syndrome. Now, here's an interesting thing. Fried rice syndrome refers to food poisoning caused by eating reheated foods which haven't been stored correctly, including a lot of the starchy stuff, rice, pasta, potatoes.
Dude.
Uncooked foods contain spores of Bacillus cereus, which are heat resistant and can survive when food is cooked. If the cooked food is then left at room temperature, these spores grow into bacteria, which can multiply and may produce toxins that cause vomiting and diarrhea. Now listen to this.
This makes me really scared because Maddie, she loves keeping leftovers. Like
Yes.
she makes she makes too much food for one, and then we'll save it. But she gives zero fucks when she's storing something. Like she'll cook chicken in like the air fryer and then just open up the air fryer and leave the chicken there overnight, like for a day, uncovered.
Yeah,
and just
that's
just
bad.
sit it, and
That's
we'll
bad.
like eat it the next day. I'm like,
Yeah.
it
That's
makes
bad.
me gag. Like
That's
it
bad.
makes me go,
I
I
think
can't do
though with
that.
the starchy things, it's really dangerous. So like
Yeah.
I've heard this before about like reheating rice and being careful with rice. I've never experienced rice. Like I've never experienced leftover rice.
I've never heard
to be
that.
bad.
That's crazy.
But here's one thing that I have actually noticed, and pretty consistently, I eat pad thai 3-4 times a week. I fucking eat way too much pad thai.
Fucking love pad thai.
It's hard for me to eat a full serving of pad thai in one sitting. Like when you order pad thai, you've got to be really hungry to eat a full thing of pad thai. It's just so much fucking
Really
pad
hungry
thai.
for pad thai right now.
I know. Maybe we should get some after this.
Yeah, we should.
So oftentimes I will put the pad thai that I didn't eat in the fridge and I will eat it the next day. I'll never eat it more than 2 days.
Mm.
But even when I do the next day, I'll eat that pad thai. And it gives me the shits. It makes my guts fucking nuts. Almost every time.
Do you think?
So, I think it has something to do with this.
Do you think possibly like the same type of bacteria, just not in the concentration that
Yes.
it? Because like, I mean, obviously that person had those like same sort of symptoms, just like jacked up to like 1,000, and then obviously died. That's crazy. I've never heard of that before.
I've heard it. Yeah, like I've heard about this before, but not this specific story. But I've heard like the warnings of like, starchy foods, leftovers. Like you got to be really careful. Like,
I feel like is that like super common? I'm
it
curious
is.
how many
Yeah.
people.
I mean, that's what
know
this whole fried rice syndrome
because
is all
like,
about.
but I mean, like obviously the fact that people are like there was a resurgence of like people sharing this story on.
I don't think
TikTok.
people dying like this is common.
Right.
I mean,
but
that guy ate some fucking like
bad
jacked up bad stuff. Oh, dogs are here. Relax, dogs. Relax.
Dog party.
Gotta make sure that the cameras don't get. Let's wrap it up. That was it. That was what the health and so yeah. So leftovers suck. If you like leftovers, maybe you should.
Stop eating them.
Stop listening to our podcast. How about that? Folks, thanks so much for listening, and we hope you enjoyed it. And if you want to support the podcast, you can do that by leaving a rating and review on Apple Podcasts, leaving a rating on Spotify, on the mobile app, leaving a rating and a review wherever you have options to do that, where you listen to podcasts while you're flicking your pod bean over there, or whatever you listen to there.
You.
And if you want to support further, come join us on Discord. Lots of fun shit going on over there.
Yeah.
Our girl Stina, producer of the week, supplied us with a story, and you could do the same thing. Come on over to Discord, and hey, you can even come over there and fucking shit on us and complain to us, and
You do whatever you want.
oh, whatever
really.
you want. Yeah, like me playing a video from the blood rave and making reference to some poor person's period. You want to get angry at me for that? Come on over to Discord and throw me under the bus.
Yeah, and also if you're angry about Catfish Cooley throwing up, you can send us a letter. You can do that at letters.
You can do that. You can fucking send us a letter.
Turn that off. Turn
That's one of my favorite videos of all time.
And thanks as always to Rich O'Coin for the theme music of the show, to Donovan Morgan who helps us with sound design on our Monday episodes, and to Jeff Lonis. We couldn't do this without you guys.
Letters at sickboypodcast.com if you want to send us an email. If you want to apply to be on the show, go to our website, find the button. And big shout out to Jody Carrington. Congratulations on the launch of your new podcast. We can't wait for people to listen to it, and we think you're going to change the world. We love you, Jody.
Everyone comes from somewhere.
Everyone comes from somewhere. That is it for this week.
I'm Brian.
I'm Jeremy, and this is Sick Boy.